Hey everybody, welcome back to the Center Lane, a political discussion for those of us in the center who just want our politicians to come up with some kind of compromise and get some things done to move us forward. Well, another week in politics. We've got the Republicans and the Democrats, and since it's the DNC's convention week, let's start with the Democrats. Talked last week about when we're going to see some kind of policies from either side. And Kamala Harris came up with some of her ideas for the economy, and I must say, trying to be objective as possible, that like most politicians, I don't think they understand how things work. I mean, I would say this, politicians, both sides, you know what? Just stay out of it, our economy, because it's pretty clueless. I did like her ideas. I would say the positives first. I think the ideas about helping first-time homeowners is great. Any way we can get people into homes and out renting and building themselves a future, because you really do. The difference is huge between renting and owning, I think, as you go through your life, and it's a sense of accomplishment and pride of ownership. So that's a positive. Somehow picking on the grocery stores, saying that they're price gouging us, I think I guess maybe I take this one a little personal, because I've been in a restaurant business my whole life. I understand that the margins on food and what you have to do to get food out to people is really, really tough and not real profitable. 25%, I don't know what she's talking about, they can only make 25% profit, whatever it is. That's not, you stay out of business, okay? Stay out of that kind of business. Of course we don't want to be ripped off. If there's something that's blatant, yes, the government should step in. But from where I'm standing, that just seemed like one of the dopiest ideas ever. And I'll tell you, a lot of other Democrats are saying the same thing. They're just like, what are you doing? How many people are getting rich opening up grocery stores, price gouging us? Not a whole lot. Let me tell you real quick what's involved with that. Food is perishable, well, except for, non-perishable item, well, semi-non-perishable, like for example, cereal and stuff, packaged goods. But you're talking about your produce, your meat, your dairy, those are all perishable items. Eggs, they got to be sold. They don't last forever on a shelf like a dress in a dress shop. So that's refrigeration. That's going very strict standards on sanitation and controls, which is great. That's delivery drivers. That's having a huge store that has a huge air conditioning bill, and especially down here in Florida in the summertime, available for you to come in and get your groceries when you want it. Nowadays, they're even using more and more home deliveries, which is costing them money too, but that's because of competition. Trying to put your arms around that. You want to make sure somebody isn't ripping us off. Why don't you try going after those venture capitalists, huh, JD? I mean, sorry, but these guys are making crazy money with, what are they contributing to society? But back to the grocery store thing and that idea. It's a terrible idea. I'm sorry. I was thinking about this. Look, if you want to try to get food prices down, it's tough because there's so many variables. The climate, if there's a bad harvest of tomatoes or whatever, there's a lot of things going on with that. But I thought we're lucky. I'll say this up front. We live in an area we have 700,000 people in our county, 100,000 in my city I live in. So there's options. And what I think most people are doing is, shopping, getting this place, getting milk at this store, getting meat at that place, etc. We have a chain here which is going to go national. They're in the southeast a lot. They're called Aldi's. And it's limited what you can buy, but the product, it's a German chain, and they seem to really have figured out how to do it, And so for milk, eggs, butter, bread, you're not going to beat all these prices. They're great. So then if we want to get meat, we usually go to this local little grocery store that has a butcher, and there's just me and my wife, so we'll buy a pound of burger, 3 chicken breasts, whatever, and at very reasonable prices, portion packed in the freezer. So I guess what I'm saying is, if you're lucky enough to live in an area like we do, that you can really navigate the food price thing a little bit easier than, say, if you lived out in the middle of nowhere and you got the Piggly Wiggly and that's it. Yeah, that's tough because, again, though, I don't think the Piggly Wiggly owners are making a ton of money. I could be wrong, but most of those companies are publicly traded, so you can see for yourself how profitable they are. So I guess in conclusion, I would say that going after the grocery stores and stuff like that and price gouging is, I'm not going to call it a fool's errand, because maybe there is something to it, but for the most part, that's not much of a plan. I would say, and real quick, that I would maybe incentivize incentivize a place like Aldi's to go into smaller towns, maybe some way to help them get in cheaper to open their stores and stores like that give people options and cheaper options and still for quality food. We could maybe the government, if you want to get, if you feel like you need to get involved, I would say that's where you need to go with that, not this nonsensical, we're going to cap how much they can earn. And no, that's crazy. All right. So let's go to the Republicans now. Trump came up with a couple things too. He wants to get the corporate tax down even lower than 21%. I don't think that's even possible. I mean, corporate tax, we need that money in Treasury. But one thing I thought was pretty crazy on his end is this tariff idea. What, tariffs on everything that comes in? So that's going to save American jobs. You know, listen, the world acts as one. Even if you're building things in America, say you're building a circuit board, there's going to be parts in that circuit board that come from China, Taiwan, etc. If you start taxing that stuff coming in, then it's going to cost more for us. You say you're doing it because you want to protect American jobs. It don't work that way anymore, man. And he knows that. So it plays to his base. Oh, everything's going to be made in America now, or and that way we're going to create more jobs and we're going to have a stronger economy. No. It's right up there with that grocery store idea that Kamala has. No, man. He tried this. When he was president, he tried to do a trade war with China. And I know people don't like to hear this, but we need China to do well with their economy, and they need us for our economy to do well so we can sell goods and services to one another. If you try to go to trade wars, which we lost, by the way, but I'm not going to get into all that right now, but we had to bail the farmers out because he killed the market because he had a trade war going with China. And that's where we sell a lot of our grains. We got the best farmers in the world. We have the most productive agriculture in the world. We're the envy of everybody. But we have a lot, we have more than we need, and we need to sell to those markets. And anytime you're trying to get in there with tariffs, or you're trying to cap corporations and grocery stores like the Democrats are, look, I'm not an economist, but come on, man. Government should keep our borders safe, have a strong military, and allow us to grow and prosper. Capitalism does work. It doesn't mean you take advantage of people and all that, and that has to be overseen, and that's great. But let's not, I think it's getting out of sorts here. So anyway, that's my thoughts on the two policies that they have so far, which neither one of them really has much. They haven't said much, either one. So we'll see where it goes. Hopefully she'll start doing some interviews and stuff now. We can hear more what she's got to say. And Trump probably needs to quit doing these press conferences because he starts throwing out the insults. I think that act is getting tired, but we'll see. Maybe it's play. Maybe he knows more about that than I do. To me, it seems like it's childish and foolish. And the same thing with the Democrats saying that all MAGA is evil and it's going to kill our democracy. Yeah, some of this stuff is just throwing stones at each other, and it's play yard stuff, and it's not really helping move us forward. But anyway, I still think that people are inherently good, all of us, whether Republican, Democrat, or anywhere in between. And I think at the end of the day, we're going to get stronger in spite of ourselves. So I'll leave it at that. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.